Now, restoration of rules for registration and marking of unmanned aircraft. The rules adopted by the Administrator of the Federal Aviation Administration in the manner of registration and marking requirements for small unmanned aircraft. Let's see. That were vacated by the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit in Taylor versus Huerta, shall be restored to effect on the date of enactment of this act. Now, what I found so interesting about this is that it wasn't Congress that repealed it. It was a court that struck it down. And then they just threw it right back in the Defense Authorization Bill. The question is, will it survive again? This appears to reverse the earlier decision of the court, but does not specify whether there's been any modifications to the requirements to prevent their being struck down once more by the same angle of attack. In particular, it doesn't change any of the language of the FAA's Modernization Act of 2012, which specifically prevents the agency from regulating hobby model aircraft and was the basis for Taylor versus Huerta. Maybe they're just hoping that the hobby flyers get fatigued. Let's see. We took a look at the registration system before it was struck down and found its rules to be unusually simple to understand when compared to other aviation rulings, even if it seemed to have little basis in empirical evidence. It bears a resemblance to similar measures in other parts of the world, with its 250 G gram weight limit for unregistered machines. It will be interesting both from a legal standpoint to see whether any fresh challenges to the zombie law emerge in the courts. Now, the thing that makes this so interesting is that this has already been struck down in the courts, and while this defense authorization section says we're going to put it back into law, I don't know that you can actually do that, considering it's already been ruled to be illegal and you haven't modified it in any way, shape, or form. So that leads a whole host of angles for defense if somebody tries to get on you about it. We got more coming up. News Talk